Good evening. Welcome home, family. How are you doing on this Monday? Yeah, it's a Monday. How you doing? Tomorrow will be, of course, Tuesday, but more so to the point, 1 week that we have been detoxing. 1 week. And I think I've been very kind to everyone this year with this detox. I know when I mentioned 1 year doing a detox on trauma, people were really starting to get nervous. But this detox here is so very important. Please do not underestimate it because we're entering the low waters at a nice pace. I can tell you from every single individual that I have met to this very second needs emotional intelligence. And if you are in any type of leadership position, people position, if you work around people, if you are on the planet Earth, you need EI training. And I think it's very important, even for those who are considered prophets. Welcome to the 30-day detox, Monica. Good to have you on with us. Prophets. This is very important that every church or establishment should have their prophets trained in EI. There are some good prophets, some young prophets that I see the Lord is bringing up. I see them on social media networks. And, one in particular I shared with my group. And she's very good. She's definitely a New Testament prophet. She doesn't play. But she's responding to a bunch of haters, and you can see her EI has been triggered by some of the comments and responses of her haters. And that's normal. It's nothing wrong with it at all. She did do name calling, which is where you can really tell our EI is not working too good, because though we can have conflict with people and argument with people, name calling is kind of when you fall into like the sandbox. It's like, come on, guys. Not the name calling, call out the issues that we're dealing with. That's how adults talk. We call out the issues. We challenge them on the issues. But when you start, attacking people's looks and calling them stupid and things like that, it's usually, to me, it's a sign you lost the argument. So it's important for EI to be trained. It should be something that everyone in leadership has. I think it would be less stress on senior leadership. If people were trained in EI, it would be less strain on relationships, less strains in the workplace, peers to peers. EI is the way to go. So I just want to remind you, though it seems light thus far, please do not underestimate it. You have a lot of work to do in regards to your EI. So I just want to bring us in. Books are in. So they will be going out tomorrow. So everyone's order should be filled by then. I just want to take a look at something here in the table of contents. So we're still on the self-awareness. No, we made it through self-awareness. We're on the self-regulation portion of this program. From here, we're going to enter into empathy. Once we're done with this part of the program, empathy. And empathy is very important. It's so lacking in us today. So that's a heavy one that I really want to push. Relationship management is after that. It's not too bad. Decision making, that's a big one we're going to deal with. Personal growth and development, that'll be good. Practical exercises and tools. We're just going to do some warm-up stuff to kind of break it all up. And then applying emotional intelligence in everyday life, dealing with regrets. Then maintaining, sustaining emotional intelligence. So giving you some tools and things to work with, especially for people who are going to need some paper to take back to show that they've done it. But more importantly, for people who really want something in their hands so they can continue to do the work. Please, like every year, I've done this. This is my 8th year, and I truly do it out of the goodness of my heart. with pure motivation. And I'm hoping that you don't drop it at the end of the 30 days. Some of us have a little crying spell. Some of us feel really sad. The next night and the next few nights after that, there's like a void at that 8 o'clock hour. We all go through that, because a habit was forming. This is habit forming by doing this repetitively. But I hope that you would look over the things you highlighted, that you would look in your journals, and that you would go through your journal and see where you were at this time last year, as opposed to where you are now when you're doing the work, separate from all of the other activities you will have going on in your life, especially when the weather changes for us here in New England. Okay. So you'll have your journal and you'll have your book to do the work, and you'll have your notepad with all your extra notes in it and room for more. So do the work. It's going to make a difference in your life. A lot of us said we wanted it for, I'm sorry, that's just my OCD. A lot of us wanted it for relationship management and stress management. Well, let's get it. Yeah. I had a little conversation in regards to Anna's comment about she received her assessment results. And I feel like you all maybe had a different belief or understanding about your self-awareness when you first took the assessment. How many could say that they have learned a little bit more about self-awareness, and maybe your assessment answers would be a little different now? Maybe you were a little too kind to yourself in answering the questions on the assessment. Anyone here that would admit that? Because most people, when they're not sure, they just choose the middle. So if it's a scale from 1 to 5, most people would choose a 3, because I'm not a 5 in it, but I'm not a 1. But I'm not a 1 in it. So what happens is they choose 3. So when they choose 3, they think that's fair, but that's high. 3 on a scale from 1 to 5 is very high for EI. And I think most people, the first time they take an emotional intelligence assessment, most will be a 1. If you've had any training in it, you might be a 2. But I promise you, you were being very kind to yourself if you gave yourself a 3 or more in answering those questions. Because what could you possibly be aware of at that time? You probably knew 5 emotions, right? Did anybody say they knew more than 5 emotions? Or not just know, but have felt them within themselves at any moment of time and was able to admit that they were feeling this or they were feeling this, and it was more than 5 different emotions. Yeah, if you put a 3 down, you were being really kind to yourself. And I think we've learned that in life, just to, put the answer in the middle, because 5, no, I'm not a 5. So I'll do a 3, and I'm not a 1. But no. So that's why we're going to have you take the assessment one more time the last week, so that we will get back to you with the last week of your results to let you know where you stand now. 1, that you are aware of self-awareness. 2, that you are more aware of self-regulation. 3, that you are more aware of emotions. And 4, that you are definitely more aware of emotional intelligence and all of the components of it. That's very, very important, especially when you are talking in regards to your assessment. It's important. It would be great. I would love to go in and do a workshop on emotional intelligence with different ministries or different companies. If you have any say so in the company that you're at, or you can make a recommendation, for an afternoon staff meeting workshop on emotional intelligence. We can break it down to a 1.5 hour. Yeah. But a 3 to 4 hour workshop with a break in between, that would really be something that people can bite into and take home with them. It's important. So everyone is hearing from their emails with their assessments, and those who have hired coaches this month at the special rate. They're hearing from their coaches and they're getting their session booked this week. And you have 3 more sessions left to meet with your coach and go over some areas that will, it will give you some insight now, of course, but it will also give you a map that's recommended for you to follow. And that's invaluable to follow until you do the work. Again, the books are in, journals are in. Everyone should be registered on the site, www.suzannemhoward.com, events page, and register on the site. So whenever we're mailing anything out in regards to these 30 days and thereafter, you are there. And while you're there, go ahead and click site member so you can go ahead and just set up your profile. Don't forget to please check out the podcast page wherever you listen to your podcast, whether you listen on Apple Podcasts, Google, Amazon, Audible, Spotify, wherever you listen, you can go ahead and find us right on there, either under Armchair Psychology. Some say the old setup is still there that says Soul Detox. If it says Soul Detox, I'm not sure that it has the current information, so make sure. But if you put in my name, you would definitely come up with something. You have to put the M in. I had to add the middle initial because it's conflicting with a few other Suzannes, but Suzanne M. Howard on wherever you get your podcast from. I want to thank you for all the walkers. Oh my God, the pictures that I was seeing today. So proud of y'all, making a big deal out of it. Posting your pictures and your videos and your hellos and posting your books and just bringing all kind of attention to our detox for these 30 days. Congratulations to you. My proverbial hat is taken off to you. Thank you. Thank you for all those that are going on and leaving comments. I seen Ashley. I saw Gwen. I saw Renee on YouTube leaving comments after the video was done. Those are so important. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for those that are sewing in the form of likes and shares. If you can right now, take a moment and just hit like on whatever social media platform you are watching, please. It helps. You know, we'll see 50 comments and 4 likes, or 50 views and 10 likes. So if everyone can just go ahead and hit like, hit a heart, whatever emotion you're feeling, hit that emoji for your emotion for Soul Detox. Just take a moment and do it now and give us a help. And then for those who sold cash, I want to bless Leah Shaw for investing in her emotional intelligence. Anna, I bless you. Andrea, I bless you for Soul Detox week 1. I bless you, Dr. Vanessa, for night 6, trigger healing. I bless you, Carmen Jones, sewing for the retreat. I bless you, Rochelle, for Soul Detox. I bless you, Cam Jackson, who just said thank you so much for doing Soul Detox. So thank you all, everyone, for being such an awesome person that you are to make this happen. All right, so we're dealing with triggers. Probably setting myself up for more trouble. I do this often because I get so inspired. And then after the inspiration falls down like those fireworks, I get tired. But Minister Anna had brought to my attention before Soul Detox started, if we could meet either some Friday nights or at some point during all of this. And I was thinking today, like, what if we met somewhere, if there was like a room in a pizza shop or the private room at the bowling alley or something, and we all met in there for a live Soul Detox. It's probably not enough time to pull it off. We may have to do it on Elliott Street because that's always open to us. Because I was thinking that way, because if we did that, what I want to do is give you some hands-on work to do. Nothing that's going to be stressful or intimidating, nothing that's going to make you feel judged. Very safe environment, a learning environment. We're all here because at the end of the day, no matter our gender, our title, or our class, or our color, we all have a soul, and there's no gender, and there's no class, and there's no color of the soul. We're all equal there. So I'm going to give it to you tonight, the assignment. Ebony, don't let me forget before we end tonight. I'm going to give you the assignment, but I'm going to jump in to these triggers tonight, and then I'll tell you what your assignment is. And we're going to do that assignment every night. Yeah, then I'm going to ask you to do something for me after. All right. Let's talk about triggers. Welcome on, everyone. We left off on, I believe it was academic pressure. Yes. Our 12th trigger example that I was giving to help you write down and journal your triggers is personal goals. Personal goals can be a trigger. Oftentimes it is. Setting and pursuing personal goals may trigger a mix of excitement and anxiety. How many get triggered whenever they think about having goals or establishing goals, or they're going to write their goals? How many feel triggered by that? How many feel triggered by that? I know I do, but I more so feel triggered towards the middle of the year when I go to look at the list, and then I'm often surprised that I did handle a lot of things that were on there that I totally forgot. That's good. Keep it up. How many actually write some goals down at least every year? How many try to do that? You try to write your goals down every year. If not, I want you to make that a habit. Just like so detox is a habit, I want you to make it a habit to write your goals down every year. At least 3. It doesn't have to be a big deal. And the awesome thing about it is you can build upon it as time goes on. I often build upon mine. Sometimes I would have completed 2 or 3 of the goals. Sometimes I will not have completed any at the point where now I build upon it. And I started years ago saying I was going to read a book a month, and I'm beyond a book a month now. I'm almost a book a week. It's almost a book a week now. So, you know, when you write things down, it's been proven scientifically and spiritually, the more things that are written are actually the things that get accomplished. So don't be afraid to write it down. You may start in the beginning just writing it down any old place. And then after a while, you have a consistent place. And now that everyone has smartphones and all these gadgets, you know, text yourself your goals, remind yourself your goals. Always have goals. I don't care what your age is, what your health is. I don't care if you're bedridden. I don't care if you're having financial stress. Have some goals. They are so important. They bring hope. And a human being without hope is in trouble. Write your goals down. And then let's work on not being triggered by our goals. So what happens if I'm triggered by, first of all, let's ask this question. See, this would be better if we were in person too. How do you know if you're being triggered by goals? Somebody put something up on their chat. How do you know if goal planning or writing goals is a trigger for you? Absolutely, Pastor Yashika. We will be going to Pastor Yashika's church, everyone, next month. I believe it's February. Am I right, Pastor? We're going over there to help her kick off an April retreat that she's having. And we're going to go fill the house up, and we're going to have a high time with them. We haven't fellowshiped with them in years, since the last time she's had me over. So we got to get on it and have her over to us, not just because she's had me over to her, but because she's dynamic. And I do believe that she carries a word from the Lord. And I'll say that on the speaker on social media tonight. I do believe she has a word from the Lord. Yep. So get ready for that. We're going to do a lot of fellowship in this year. The calendar is filling up just for this first quarter already. So we're going to have a great time with Kingdom Culture. Pastor D says, by never completing a goal, I feel anxiety. There you go, Renee. That's a sign that something is triggering you. And one of the signs is your feelings, especially that of anxiety. It's okay, Monica. You're going to learn a lot of things on tonight. I hope you have a writing instrument and something to write on next to you. That's right, Patricia Wilson. You get nervous. Hey, family, I know Minister Patricia was out. She was not feeling well. I'm sorry to put your business out, but she did have a birthday. Can we go ahead and put on the screen to her happy birthday? She's just getting younger and younger and younger. Mm-hmm. Two. Oh, how do I do that? Just do that. There you go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You deserve it, woman. You deserve it. Awesome. And that's how you know when something gives you a trigger, right? Think about it. Someone walks in the house. You ever get nervous or a little anxiety? Something about them or what tidings they could be bringing you could be a trigger. Man, at the end of these 30 days, you guys are going to be so aware of your triggers. You're just going to be like static electricity everywhere you go. That's a trigger. This is a trigger. That's a trigger. This is a trigger. But let's handle our life so we can prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prospers. So how do you know if personal goals are bringing you a trigger? First of all, because they're bringing you a mix of excitement and anxiety, for example. But this is what the trigger could be from. The trigger could be a fear of not achieving your goals. Do you see the pressure that we put on ourselves before we even get the year started? Just the thought of writing our goals down, we're already thinking, what if I don't complete them? What if I'm going to fail? Or even worse, at the other end of the spectrum, what if I succeed? People are going to expect more from me. Oh my God, I don't want to succeed. I fear success. I don't want to fail. So I don't write things down because I'm afraid to fail, because then I'll feel bad about myself and people will see who I really am. And then imposter syndrome is now activated and forget goals. It's too triggering. So it's not the goals itself. If you're learning anything from what I'm saying, the trigger is actually you have that grenade is actually a fear of not achieving your goals, or again, the pressure to succeed. Let's talk about guilt as a trigger. Guilt. How many think that they have guilt? The trigger, when you break a promise to someone or behave in a way that conflicts with your moral values or beliefs. So now it's kind of, I did it in the reverse on these two, I believe, maybe a couple more mixed in between. But if you ever are triggered by an event or a person and you are triggered with guilt and you're like, I don't know why I feel guilty. It's nothing that I've forgotten to do for them, or I don't understand where the guilt is coming from. If you are triggered by guilt, usually it's because you have a fear of breaking a promise, or you broke a promise and it has conflicted with your values or beliefs. You have guilt. That's why you got us, Sandra. We're going to get you there. Guilt, 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 guilt. The trigger is the fear of letting someone down. Maybe you were told you were nothing but a failure. Maybe you were told something close to that. You perceived it as being a failure. So you just carry guilt whenever you feel that you can't complete something or finish something, or you have let someone down and you feel that they feel that way about you. People often have guilt when it comes to God. Some people have guilt when they go by churches. Some people have guilt when they see people with the collar on out in the marketplace, because they have a moral value or belief that was instilled with them somewhere within their life. And because they're not pursuing what grandma or the family laid for a foundation for them, that they are not following their moral code or their beliefs. So they have guilt. It's a heavy one. It's a heavy one because you don't even have to know that it's there, but it's there. And you're like, you could, let's just say again, physical sensations in your body, stomach, headache. You don't know why. And it could be because every morning on your way to work, when you pass that church. How about when you go by and you pass someone on the street that you haven't given money to, and you're thinking about it when you get to the job, or you're thinking about it after work, or you're thinking about it the next week. Why didn't I give to that person? Or you didn't give someone a ride. You carry guilt for those things, and you're carrying guilt because you're breaking a moral code or value that you have. So the guilt is uncomfortable to the most. However, it's also a sign. Like emotions are a sign. Remember our messengers? And we talked about pain being a sign that something is going on. Well, that's what guilt is. Guilt is a sign that somewhere in you, you are breaking your own moral value, or you're going against your own beliefs. So you have guilt. Wow. Think about that when it comes to guilt. That's a big one. That guilt is a big one because it just spans across so many different layers. Let me write that one down because we're going to have a talk on that one. I can see that one growing into something good. All right. How about jealousy? Jealousy. You are triggered when you perceive a threat to a valued relationship, or feel that someone else is receiving more attention or recognition than you. Jealousy is often triggered when you perceive a threat to a valued relationship. You know, sometimes just kids, they just get jealous of the third wheel that comes along to play, when all of them can play along and have a really good time, but they're triggered by jealousy. And it's not because I think you're better than me, or you have something that I want. They're triggered because they have such a value relationship with their friend that they're afraid you're going to take their friend away. And because they have not been taught emotional intelligence, they don't know what to do with it. It's just sad when we're our age and we're still dealing with that, right? Yeah. How about in marriages? I said years ago, I was going to write a book, Jesus Stole My Woman. How many men I knew was angry with God, or jealous of God, more appropriately put tonight, or of the man or woman of God, because when their loved one starts going to church, they can go to church one day a week and they'll say, you're always in that church. Or they'll go to only Bible study and only Sunday service, and their spouse will say, you're always in that church. You're sleeping with that pastor. They can't say it too much at our church because we have a woman pastor, but you know, things are a lot less complicated nowadays. So I guess they could, but that's a big one. Jealousy doesn't stop at God. We are brazen enough, y'all, to be jealous at God, to be jealous of the church, to be jealous of the man or woman of God, because our loved one is attending services there. And we're really not mad at God or the leadership, though I've seen people ruin someone's Christian walk, someone's faith walk, because they wanted them home with them. And it really was not against God or the church or the people or the leader. It was because they felt that something was a threat to their relationship, and they valued it so much that they wanted to keep that person to themselves like a precious stone. But how many know that we're humans and we can't do that? As we become one, we have to allow each other to still continue to grow in our careers, in our spirituality, in our friendships. It's healthy. Now, I can't tell you how to handle your marriage, but I can tell you psychologically and spiritually, it's healthy to have friends that you go out with once in a while to dinner, or you go play cards at their house, or go to the movies together, or whatever outside of your marriage. It's healthy. It makes you even appreciate the marriage more and miss your spouse a little bit more. And you come back in with a little more energy and a little more spice, and you're sharing about your evening. I see you, sir. Thank you. So we need to start paying attention more to our jealousy, because when we are triggered by jealousy, people who observe us, they're not seeing us as having a fear of losing that precious stone. They see us as very insecure, as very controlling. They see us as jealous, when really what's really going on here, I don't know how to adjust my emotions when this person that I cherish and value so much, this relationship that I value so much, someone else is getting their attention. I don't know how to maneuver those feelings, so I get jealous. Interesting, right? You ever think of it like that? You are triggered by jealousy oftentimes when someone perceives a threat to a valued relationship or feel that someone else is receiving more attention or recognition. This is why I tell people you got to handle your home, because when your home starts spilling over into your church relationship, that's just messy. It's so unnecessary. I can go in on that one, but I'm just going to write it down for now. A trigger. How about a trigger of envy? Envy. When you are triggered, yes, Ebony. Yes, Brittany. She's saying teach. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm writing it down. We're going to deal with those. Trigger. We are triggered by envy when we compare ourselves to others and believe that they possess something we desire, whether it's material, wealth, talent, or success. Envy is often a trigger response when we compare ourselves to others and believe, that's the hurtful part, that they possess something that we desire, whether it's material, wealth, talent, or success. I've seen so many single people envious of married people's relationship. And I've even seen it in church where the single people have certain married couples that they're like, that's what I want my marriage to be like. And now, most of the information the pastor knows. We just can't talk to anyone else but God about it. So we're often sitting there saying, oh my God, they have no idea. But they'll carry an envy in their heart and have no clue about that marriage, because we've learned in our lifetime, we learned in our homes, dress it up, take it out, put on a show, come back home. Don't envy anyone else's marriage. Work on your own. It's very important. That's right, Carmen. It can be, Jerry. That's a good refocus, Raphael. Good job. So how about this is a good trigger, right? How about excitement? Excitement is a trigger. Excitement is trigger of an anticipation of a long-awaited event, such as a vacation, a special occasion, or a new opportunity. I get triggered every day just when in my mind, when I start thinking of where am I going to go by February to get away. I could feel the trigger on the inside of my body. I love that trigger. Excitement is a trigger. How about boredom as a trigger? You are triggered with boredom when you have the mundane or repetitive task, when you have lack of engagement or having too much free time and nothing stimulating to do. Nothing stimulating to do. I remember when I was little, we couldn't dare tell our parents we were bored. They found out some housework for us to do real fast. You would quiet. I have to hear every day how bored somebody is. Let me have said that when I was little. Oh, you bored? Can you that dust mop so quick? Welcome, Darnell. How about this? How about a trigger of empathy? We're going to do good work in that one on the next chapter. A trigger of empathy. The trigger is witnessing someone else's suffering, hearing about a friend's challenges, or experiencing a loved one's pain. empathy. You are triggered with empathy. And it happens when you witness someone else's suffering, hearing about a friend's challenges, or experiences a loved one's pain. Disappointment is a trigger. Disappointment. You're triggered with disappointment when your expectations are not met. I'm going to write that one down too. When your expectations are not met, whether it's a missed opportunity, unfulfilled plans, or a letdown in personal relationships. Triggered with disappointment. Has anyone been triggered with disappointment in 2024 yet? Yes, very good. Prophet Lisa said yes, that we are on page 86. How about trigger of contentment? Triggered of contentment. You are triggered by moments of peace, harmony, and satisfaction when you feel that your needs and desires are met. Contentment. That's a beautiful place to be. Moments of peace will trigger contentment. When you have harmony with yourself, no matter what's going on around you, with your spouse, your dog, the house, the bills, it doesn't matter. I am in harmony with myself. I am aligned with my faith. I am content. How about being triggered by being overwhelmed? Overwhelmed. You're triggered with being overwhelmed when being faced with an excessive workload, numerous responsibilities, or a complex situation that feels unmanageable. Overwhelmed. That's a huge one when it comes to EI, because for many of us, if you are triggered with feeling overwhelmed, that's usually when your EI is out the window. And you might say it, bump self-regulation, self-awareness, EI, so detox, and that woman, because those emotions have come in like a flood. And you have to raise up a standard. You can't throw everything out. Overwhelmed. How about a nice trigger of hope? Hope. Believing in the possibility of a positive outcome or change in a challenging situation. Let's all be triggered by hope this year. Let's be triggered by hope this year. How about regret? Regret. Woohoo! We're back on regrets. We got a whole chapter on those. Reflecting on past choices or decisions that you believe had negative consequences or resulted in missed opportunities. You are oftentimes triggered by regret when you are reflecting on past choices or decisions that you believe had negative consequences or resulted in missed opportunities. Regret. Pride. Pride. Achieving a personal milestone, receiving recognition or praise, or feeling a sense of accomplishment can trigger pride. That's the healthy side of the coin of pride. But loneliness. Loneliness. When you feel disconnected from others, experiencing social isolation, or going through a period of significant life changes. Loneliness. That's another big one, because people will make some horrible decisions when they're triggered by loneliness. And loneliness does not mean that you are alone. It doesn't have to be a physical state. It can be a mental state. And that's worse. Loneliness is often triggered when you're going through a period of significant life changes. Check on someone in the workplace. Check on someone in your church. When you know that they're going through significant life changes, no matter how little they may seem to you, have empathy. When they're big, most of us are triggered by sympathy. But it doesn't matter if you went through it and it was nothing for you and it's a big deal for them. It may be triggering something from their childhood. That's why they're not responding to the same event with the same emotions and feelings that you had. If you know anyone today that is going through a significant life change in their life, check on them, because it triggers loneliness. And they could be in the house with people. They could have communities that they're involved in, but loneliness is on the inside. Doesn't mean you're alone. Did you hear me? That's right, Jerry. She's writing it down. When you're experiencing social isolation, and I don't know how many people that are on here that are believers of any type of faith or higher presence of God, but oftentimes God will cause you to be socially isolated from people. When he wants to talk to you, or when he's consecrating you for something that's coming, or he's preparing you, or he's shutting things down because you got too much going on in your life. When those type of things go on, you will feel extreme loneliness, and nothing's going to fulfill that loneliness. So you have to go and be in harmony with yourself so you can trigger contentment while you're in this season, contentment while you're on this part of your journey, contentment while you're waiting for God to move things around, contentment while you're waiting for God to give you an answer. Whenever you are in a period of significant life changes or social isolation, you need to have in your life contentment. And contentment, we said, is triggered by having harmony, being at peace. Apostle Paul said it best: whatever state I am in, I have learned to be content. He said, whether I'm abasing really low or abounding really high. That's an emotional state. It's an internal state. Loneliness. People don't have to be alone to be lonely. I can look in some people's eyes sometime when they're in the church, and I just see such a state of loneliness on them. 26, nostalgia. Nostalgia is triggered with reminders of the past, such as old photos, songs, or places. How many know that when you look at old photos, or especially you hear some old music or old songs, or I drove down the street I lived on when I grew up last year. I drove down that street last year, and it evoked a mix of emotions. And sometimes when we're going through these moments, it will trigger joy and sadness at the same time. And it will trigger us to feel very nostalgic. I'm not sad and I'm not happy. I'm just, remember my parents, and I wish they were alive, and the neighborhood, we all played outside together and we all knew each other, and, there wasn't all this crime, and, I'm just feeling nostalgic. That's another feeling. That's right, Noemi. That will definitely make you nostalgic. Number 27, relief. Relief. That's a trigger. Escaping a stressful or challenging situation. Receiving positive news after a period of uncertainty, or finding a solution to a problem will always trigger relief. Awe, A-W-E, awe, is triggered when encountering something grand, something beautiful or extraordinary, such as witnessing a breathtaking natural phenomenon or remarkable human achievement. With that in mind, I saw a social media post today where a guy said, "What was the biggest thing in 2023 that you were in awe of?" And somebody posted all these seagulls. Somebody put the Grand Canyon. Someone put a baby being born. So let me propose that question to you. Reflecting on 2023, what was your awe moment? What was it in 2023 that had you in awe? When you encountered something grand, beautiful, or extraordinary, such as witnessing a breathtaking natural phenomenon or remarkable human achievement. What was yours for 2023? What was yours? When I was baptized. Hallelujah, girl. Come on. Where's your awe moment? My wife and I bought our first house. Congratulations, Darnell. Congratulations. I wish property ownership for everyone, especially of color. My grandchild was born. Beautiful. Ordination. Awesome. Look at y'all watching my grandson being born. Received my BS in HR management. Congratulations. Grandson born. I don't have one. Well, I want you to reflect. That's your journal assignment for tonight. Let me see who said that. Yvette, that's your journaling assignment for tonight. I want you to reflect. You may have to go through your text messages. You may have to go through your photos in your phone if you carry a planner, and find something in 2023 that was your awe. And if someone else on here doesn't have one, that's your journaling assignment for tonight as well. As you head back to your room in our retreat house, I want you to reflect on your journal tonight, and I want you to find something that gave you awe in 2023. When I moved into my new place, congratulations, Carla. Anna said my youngest son's baptism, congratulations. Our trip to Tanzania, Africa, awesome, Nubian queen. Watch Kinsley grow up, beautiful, Carmen. CDA of the year, go on, Keita. Sunrise, come on, Daniel. The full recovery of my sister after having a major stroke. Come on, Ronnie Bonner. Fulfillment of a God-given promise like a real personal one. Come on, Danielle. He gave you awe in 2023. It was a rough one, Ashley, but I'm going to challenge you as well, because psychologically, we tend to focus more on the bad than the good. I want you to find what you're missing in 2023 that gave you awe. Go back and get it. Find it like that needle in the haystack. That's your diamond, and you deserve that. My daughter's baptism, very good, special. The clouds opened over the ocean. Come on, Patricia. Going to Jamaica, seeing all the beautiful scenery. Very good, Raisha. Flying on a plane, Rochelle. When the light came on about myself. Okay, Manuel. Retiring. Go ahead, Renee. Being able to drive to New Mexico to spend Christmas with my sister. Go ahead, Cheryl. See, come on. Graduated with my master's. Go on, Carmen Figueroa. Y'all are rocking it out. My sister was released from jail early and reconciled with her kids. Hallelujah. Come on, y'all. Hallelujah to that one. Go ahead, Rosa. Retiring. Congratulations, Lydia. My youngest graduated and my twin grands were born. Congratulations, Nicole. Honorary doctorate. Go ahead, Karita. 100 Women of Color Award. Come on, Dr. Vanessa. Beautiful. Being baptized. Awesome, Destiny. Seeing different sunrises. Yes, Carmen. Getting pregnant after years of trying. Congratulations, Brittany. My relationship with my 3 sisters and 2 brothers. Awesome, Florence. Praise God for that. Forgiving someone in my family. Awesome. Congratulations. Went on a cruise, when I passed the NCLEX and became a nurse. Go on for the boss. I think that's you, Tori, right? Granddaughter being born, granddaughter being baptized. Nice. Look at all of these. We got proms. We got seeing the Grand Canyon. People are working on it. Getting into my master's program. Recovering from a heart attack. Congratulations. Praise God for that. Road tripping alone. on the California coast for my birthday. Look at this. Come on. Keep it up. And those who don't have one, please take this challenge on and find your awe from 2023, because we're in 2024 now and we're not wasting this year. 29 is a resentment. The trigger when you feel mistreated, overlooked, or wronged by someone, actions, or behaviors. Resentment. When you feel mistreated, overlooked, or wronged by someone's actions or behaviors. Curiosity. Encountering something new, mysterious, or intriguing that sparks your interest and desire to learn more. A trigger of curiosity. And sometimes that's all we need is an encounter with something new for our curiosity to be triggered. Resilience, number 31. Resilience. Number 31, overcoming a challenging obstacle or adversity in your life, which can evoke a sense of strength and resilience. 32, frustration. Did we talk about that one already? Facing obstacles or setbacks when pursuing your goals, especially when progress is slow or difficult. Frustration is a grinding pavement to walk on. Curiosity again, anticipation, looking forward to the future, disgust, encountering something offensive, unpleasant, or morally objectionable. Overjoy is when you receive unexpected good news. Shame, that one I want to write down. I'm going to take the heavy hitters out. Shame. Trigger, making a mistake or engaging in behavior that conflicts with your values, leading to feelings of guilt and self-blame. Pity is when you witness someone else's suffering, misfortune, or challenges, which can evoke feelings of compassion and sympathy. Apathy, feeling disengaged, indifferent, or emotionally detached, often in response to a lack of interest or motivation. Apathy. And you are responsible for where there's apathetic behavior. Keep that in mind. If we meet up somewhere, we'll go into that when we'll have time for it. Gratitude. Please be triggered by gratitude. Try that every day of your life. Be triggered by gratitude, reflecting on the positive aspects of your life, acknowledging the kindness of others, or feeling thankful for your blessings. Exhilaration, engaging in thrilling or adventurous activities. Embarrassment. Being in a situation where you perceive yourself as socially awkward or self-conscious, often related to public speaking or social interactions. Regret again, realizing that you missed out on an opportunity. So not just reflecting. The first regret, we were reflecting on the past. This one, realizing that you missed out on an opportunity, made a decision you now regret, or didn't take action when you had the chance. Wow. You see the difference in those regrets? Forgiveness, choosing to let go of anger and resentment towards someone who has wronged you, often accompanied by a desire for reconciliation or inner peace. Have you ever thought about forgiving someone for those reasons? If you need for your emotional response to be that of forgiving someone, how you trigger that feeling is one, choosing to let go of your anger. Did I mention what they did to you? Did I mention anyone's name? No. Oftentimes it can be towards someone who has wronged you, often accompanied by a desire for reconciliation or inner peace. If you know, holding on to this ought, always remembering, keeping their wrongs before you. You know, that's not love, right? Because love is keeping no record of wrongs. And that's a hard one. I know it is. I'm human myself, but I'm telling you, If you desire for either reconciliation or inner peace, I pray that you get triggered by forgiveness. I know what they did was wrong. I know they was dead wrong. I know everybody agrees with you. But if you want reconciliation or either inner peace, how about peace when you pray so your prayers are heard? Huh? How about the elements in your body to be delivered and healed and set free? How about that? When you have those desires, let trigger happen to you of forgiveness. Trust. Building trust in a relationship over time. And this is even regaining trust. Building trust in a relationship over time through consistent and reliable actions, communication, and mutual understanding. You are not a prison guard. God does not, when we break trust with God, He so lovingly and kindly moves us right back into a position and to work with Him with trust again. He doesn't lock us in a prison. He doesn't shame us. He doesn't remind us of our wrongs. He doesn't keep a record of our wrongs. How dare we do that to other people? If you're going to forgive someone, then trust has to be the next step. And it may be a process and it may take some time. I'm not going to walk over it like it doesn't. But life is too short to spend a day, never mind 10, 20, 30 years, battling trust issues or forgiveness issues with someone, and no one is promised tomorrow. And if we've never seen that scripture as bold and amplified, it is in this time. Yes, it does. Trust can take years to build and seconds to lose. That's right. But it is important to build it up again. No one is perfect. No one but God is perfect. I've got a part in here that we're going to talk about as well. And the statement that came over me to subtitle that chapter is they may not have cheated on us, but they cheated us. And you've cheated everyone that you have withheld emotional love from or have not been emotionally intelligent to be in relationship with them. So we've all fallen short. We've all fallen short in different ways. Indignation, witnessing unfairness, injustice, or variations of ethical practices leading to feelings of moral outrage. Satisfaction, successfully completing a task or project, achieving a personal goal, or realizing progress in your endeavors. Apprehension, anticipating an uncertain or potentially threatening situation, often associated with nervousness and caution. 49, relief. Receiving positive news or hiding or finding a solution to a problem after a period of uncertainty, anxiety, or distress. Nervousness, focusing on unfamiliar or high pressure situation, such as a job interview or a public performance, leading to feelings of anxiety and unease. We're going to stop right here before I continue on with more examples. We'll finish up tomorrow night on this section on triggers, and we're going to pick up with acceptance. We're going to finish it tomorrow night. Here's your first assignment. You're going to have another one tomorrow. Tonight, this is your first assignment. Are you ready? This is for your journal entry. I want you to write down what you were triggered by. So let's just say someone's on here is relief. And I want you to write down what it was that triggered relief, or what it was that triggered anxiety, or what was it that triggered trust? What was it that triggered forgiveness? Do you understand? And you can write it just like this. Think about your day. Think about what you have already started this year and write that one word on the top of a line And then underneath it, I want you to say receiving positive news or receiving bad news or feeling inspired by the scriptures that I was triggered to forgiveness, feeling guilty, reading the word of God that I was triggered by, but did I say feeling guilty by reading the scriptures that I was triggered into forgiveness? You see how you can have mixed emotions where actually guilt can actually lead you into doing something that you need to do. When you read the word of God and you find out how God has forgiven us and we won't forgive others, you feel guilty and it can trigger you into forgiving someone. So that's your first assignment. I want you to write down something that either happened within the day or this year so far. And if you're really stuck and you can't do it, then you can use something that has happened, in your most present memory. But I want you to write one down for me. And if you can either post it here in the chat tomorrow so I can see it, or you can send it into Ebony if it's something that's really private and you want me to see it. But that's it tonight. We're done. We hit 50. We'll finish up the 50 tomorrow. And let's see, when we finish those 50, you're going to have to write me another trigger, but this one's going to be a different one. And we're going to go into self-regulation and stress management. Let me pull this up here a little bit. And we're going to talk about how the brain works. We're going to revisit emotional triggers because that's a big part of EI. And we're going to do a couple of exercises. Let me see what else is here that and we're going to deal with stress, stressors, stress signs, how to pay attention to them, how to notice them, to catch this stuff early on in your life. And then we move into chapter 4. And chapter 4 is when we start getting much deeper, in my opinion. All right. This is it. We're done. See, tonight wasn't bad at all. Write your trigger. Be prepared to submit it in the chat tomorrow. If it's something you want me to note, pay attention to, please feel free to send it in an email. Awesome. I see about 3 or 4 of you got your book tonight. Today, I'm very happy for you. And some others should have that same story tomorrow and the next day. We're here for you. You can reach out to us. You can call us at 860-222-9884. You can email us. You can always go to the website and find us. And we're always answering every email that comes through. All right. God bless you. Thank you for your time. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. God bless.